Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and good evening. Today is Saturday, 27th of October 2012. You're watching live updates from Arezo television. The headlines first. Government of Pakistan claims that the problem over Durand line solved between Pakistan and the United States. Afghan parliamentarians being worried about further interventions of Pakistan in the internal affairs of Afghanistan and a strategic partnership agreement between Kabul, Islamabad not to be endorsed. And finally, Leon Panetta, the US Defense Minister, entitles role of India pretty much vital in stabilization of peace and security in Afghanistan and region. Now news in details with me, Sakhi Ahmad Arsalan. A number of officials for the Foreign Ministry of Pakistan said that the problem over recognition of the Durand line has already been sorted out and the line has been identified as an international border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Spokesman for the Foreign Ministry of Pakistan said the line not only has been known as international border by Pakistan, but also some other member states of international community have recognized Durand line as an international border. However, Durand line between Pakistan and Afghanistan still has not been identified as an international border by the government of Afghanistan. After the allegations of American diplomats over recognition of Durand line between Pakistan and Afghanistan as an international border, this time the Pakistani authorities expressed their perspectives over their proposition. Despite of the fact that Durand line has been identified as an international border by the Foreign Ministry of Pakistan, the Pakistani government claims that the issues has already been solved. And not only Pakistan but also some other member states of international community have recognized Durand line as an international border. The Durand line between Afghanistan and Pakistan has been identified as an international border by the international community. This is while that allegations of Mark Grassman, White House Special Envoy to Afghanistan and Pakistan, were entitled baseless. And the Afghan officials also said the allegations do not bring any changes on the stance of the government of Afghanistan towards the Durand line. Furthermore, Emal Faizi, spokesman for the Afghan President Hamid Karzai, entitled making any decisions over Durand line just one of the authorities of the people of Afghanistan. The Durand line was firstly imposed on King Abdul Rahman Khan in 1893 by the British government. However, with establishment of a country with the name of Pakistan in 1947, the line has not been recognized as a joint border between Afghanistan and Pakistan by the Afghan government, and the problem still remains unsolved. The government of Afghanistan rejected endorsement of the strategic partnership agreement between Kabul and Islamabad. In spite of the fact that endorsement of the strategic partnership memorandum of understanding between Kabul and Islamabad was not entitled to the benefit of Afghanistan by a number of Afghan parliamentarians, they also strongly demanded Afghanistan's President Hamid Karzai to change his perspective on signing the memorandum of understanding with Pakistan. In fact, the members of House of Representatives of Afghanistan believe that Pakistan aims to expand its terroristic activities and irregularities in Afghanistan through diplomatic relationships with the country. India, Italy, Germany, Britain, Australia, and the United States of America are the countries which have endorsed strategic partnership agreements with the government of Afghanistan one after another over the past year. And every one of the aforementioned countries has a specific strategy towards Afghanistan. However, now as a strategic partnership agreement between Kabul and Islamabad is supposed to be endorsed, the proposition has resulted in creation of a lot of challenges. Pakistan, which is one of the southern neighbors of Afghanistan, has always been accused of provoking extremism in the country. Although the Afghan and Pakistani presidents agreed to endorse the strategic partnership agreement between Pakistan and Afghanistan by the end of 2013, the Afghan parliamentarians once more demanded President Karzai not to sign the memorandum of understanding. In fact, endorsement of the agreement between Kabul and Islamabad was not turned to the benefit of Afghanistan by the members of Afghan House of Representatives. The Afghan parliamentarians believe that Pakistan aims to spread extremism and terroristic activities in Afghanistan via diplomatic ties with the country. The demand of Afghan parliamentarians from President Karzai comes, as the Afghan president had said, as long as Pakistan does not give up backing extremism and honestly fight against anti-government insurgents, no strategic partnership agreement will be signed with the country. India was entitled a very vital country for Afghanistan and region by Leon Panetta, the U.S. Defense Minister. Mr. Panetta, joining a press conference in Pentagon, the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense, said India can play a vital role in stabilization of peace and security in Afghanistan. And in case India, Pakistan and Afghanistan jointly cooperate with one another, their cooperation will profoundly be effective in ensuring peace and security in the region. Meanwhile, the U.S. Defense Minister emphasized on security transition process, and he also said the fundamental policy and purpose of Washington towards Afghanistan is only establishment of stability and national solidarity in Afghanistan. Leon Panetta, the U.S. Defense Minister, joining a press conference in Pentagon, the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense, entitled the role of regional countries, in particular India, pretty much important in the stabilization of peace and security in Afghanistan. According to U.S. Defense Minister, if the governments of Pakistan and Afghanistan jointly cooperate with the Indian government, the joint contribution of the countries has many positive consequences in ensuring peace and security in Afghanistan and region.
In regards to India is an important country in that region, and obviously whatever India can do to try to help develop stability in that region, both working with Afghanistan as well as Pakistan, would be very helpful to the prospect.
At the meantime, the U.S. Defense Minister emphasized on security transition process from international troops to Afghan security forces, and he also said stabilization of peace and security in Afghanistan is the main purpose of Washington, so that Al-Qaeda network and some other anti-government insurgents are not able to attack Afghanistan again.
You know, first of all, I think with regards to Afghanistan, our goal has always been an Afghanistan that can govern and secure itself, and that can be a sovereign and independent country in that important region of the world, and one that is sufficiently secure so that Al-Qaeda never again finds a safe haven from which to conduct attacks on our country or any place else. That's the goal, and that's the kind of Afghanistan that I think we're trying to work towards. And I think it's the kind of Afghanistan the Afghan people.
The U.S. Defense Minister has been emphasizing on role of India in a stabilization of peace and security in Afghanistan, while India has been one of the biggest donors of Afghanistan. As a matter of fact, the Indian government has assisted more than $2 billion to Afghanistan in launching infrastructure programs in development of education, health and energy sectors. Likewise, the first strategic partnership memorandum of understanding between India and Afghanistan has recently been endorsed. A woman was beheaded on the first day of Eid al-Adha in Balkh province by her husband. According to police officials, the man, whose age is more than 50, killed his wife in the Dehdari district of Balkh province after a verbal argument. The police commander of the Dehdari district said the criminal has been detained by the police. Following the deadly bombing attack taking place in Maymana center of Faryab province, which resulted in killing and wounding more than 90 individuals, so dozens of residents from different provinces of the country such as Balkh, Saripol and Juzjan went to the hospital to dedicate blood to the injured people. Doctors from Mazar Regional Hospital said yesterday dozens of soldiers and police officers of Balkh Special Police Unit went to Maymana city to donate blood to the wounded people. At the meantime, according to reports, a great number of youths from Sheberghan and Saripol cities took part in blood donation process. A deadly bombing attack occurred during Eid prayers in Maymana, the center of Faryab province, on last Friday, coinciding with the first day of Eid al-Adha. As a result, more than 50 people were killed and 50 others wounded. While a number of Maymana residents were accomplishing Eid prayers in a mosque, a suicide bomber exploded himself opposite the mosque. And after the deadly incident, dozens of people from different cities and provinces of Afghanistan decided to donate their blood to the wounded people voluntarily. Moreover, among the people donating blood, a number of Balkh Special Unit police went to Mazar Regional Hospital to join the process of blood donation to the injured people of the event. Dr. Abdul Shukur, the head of blood bank of Mazar Hospital, asserted about 23 injured individuals were carried by helicopters of the National Army to Mazar Regional Hospital, and they are still under serious treatments. In the meantime, more than 200 youths from Sheberghan city participated in the blood donation process, and the main scope of dedication of blood was entitled Consolidation of Unity and Solidarity Among Afghan Residents by organizers of blood donation campaign. Furthermore, it has been reported that blood donation process to wounded people of Maymana incident has been started in Saripol province. Syed Anwar Sadat, Saripol residents representative in parliament, said approximately 100 youths have taken part in blood donation process so far. And finally, the Indian government increased its cooperation with the government of Afghanistan for erection of Salma Dam by 50%. The Indian ambassador, joining an exclusive interview with Arezo television, said the work of erection of Salma Dam has been started since 2006 by the Indian government. Now it is going to advance its rate of contribution for building the dam for 50%. This is while the security, financial and technical dilemmas have been known, the issues which have resulted in postponement of the erection of their project. And now that brings us to wrap the news. Many thanks for joining us. Stay tuned with Arezo television. Have a good night ahead.